This program comes to you by electrical transcription. The Treasury Star Parade. With Frederick March, Florence Eldridge, Enya Gonzalez, Al Goodman and his orchestra and chorus, and Walter Houston as our master of ceremonies. Our slogan,
Millions for Defense.
Ready bonds today, bonds of freedom, what we're selling, bonds today.
This is Walter Houston, ladies and gentlemen, in another of the new series of programs brought to you by the Treasury Department. We wondered a little whether we should start this program with music or drama, but we were all so desirous of hearing our little cousin from the Philippines sing that we decided to let her start and then get on with the grim business ahead. It's Enya Gonzalez singing Mimi's Farewell. People have won the benefits of freedom and democracy, tyrants have risen to assail them in an attempt to ruin and destroy them. But whenever it has happened, men have spoken out for freedom and liberty in the words of flame. Their voices resounded through the halls of time, hurling defiance at the invader, speaking in solemn warning to the besieged. And at this time, as brought to you by Frederick March, we hear the mighty echo of the words they speak.
Citizens, the insolence and outrage with which this man treats all mankind are just as great as you hear them represented. that he cannot be curbed with speeches and debates is now obvious. All the world is now divided into two parties. The one composed of those who desire nothing, neither to exercise nor to be subject to arbitrary power, but to enjoy the benefits of liberty, laws, and independence. And the other composed of those who, while they aim at absolute rule over their fellow citizens, are themselves the agents of another person, by whose means they hope to obtain their purposes, and his partisans, the believers in tyranny and despotism, are superior everywhere. So that of all the popular constitutions, I know not whether one be left firmly established except our own. Citizens, be firmly persuaded of this. This man is the most implacable enemy of this whole state, to the ground on which it stands and to its very religion. But against our Constitution is his force principally directed. The destruction of this is, above all other things, the most immediate object of his secret schemes and machinations. We must understand that all those activities which now occupy him, all that he is now planning, he is planning against us. There can be none among you weak enough to imagine that his desires are centered in those poverty-stricken places which he now possesses, that he endures the severity of toils and seasons and exposes himself to the utmost dangers for these, and has no designs on the ports and the arsenals and the navies and the mines and the revenues and the situation and the glory of our cities, but will permit us to enjoy these, while for the trifling hoards of grain he has found, he takes up his winter quarters in all the horrors of a dungeon. It cannot be. Even in his marches there, he has us in view. We are the chief object of all his enterprises. If then we all foresee that the farther this man is permitted to extend his conquests, the more dangerous and powerful enemy we must find in him, why is our duty evaded? Why do we delay? Or when will we be disposed to exert ourselves? For all too long, when this man was mentioned, immediately someone was ready to start up and cry, we should not act inconsiderately. We should not involve ourselves in a war. What can be the reason that when he was guilty of such open violations of justice, when he was actually seizing cities, none of these men would acknowledge that he acted unjustly or committed hostilities, but asserted that they who roused you from your indifference and urged you to oppose these outrages were involving you in war? This is the reason that whatever accidents may happen in the course of the war, and there is a melancholy necessity that war should be attended with many accidents, they may lay the whole blame on your best and most faithful leaders. Our enemy denied that he was at war with some nations until his forces were in the heart of their dominions, with others until he was on the point of storming their walls, with still others until he appeared in their territories at the head of an army. Shall we then say that they who urged us to defend our country involved us in a war? If so, we must be slaves. There is no middle course. Your danger is not the same as that of other states. This man's design is not to enslave, but to wipe out your state. He knows that a state like yours, accustomed to command, will not and cannot submit to slavery. He knows that if you have an opportunity, you can cause him more disturbance than any other people. And therefore, if ever he conquers us, we may be sure of finding no degree of mercy. It remains, therefore, that the whole tenor of your conduct be reformed. If not, that utter desolation which will be found in your affairs must be imputed wholly to yourself.
That speech, ladies and gentlemen, which was just delivered by Frederick March, and which sounds as though it might have been written this morning, it so fits our time and temper, was really a copy of a speech that was made over 2,000 years ago, in 338 B.C., by Demosthenes to the Athenians, urging them to an all-out defense against the archenemy of all mankind in that day, Philip of Macedonia. Unfortunately, they paid no heed to his warning until it was too late. Philip had grown too strong, and after a gallant struggle, Athens was conquered, and the light of freedom went out of Greece forever. Pray God that we have heeded our warning today in time. Yes, that's an amazing speech, Betty.
Yes, it is, Walter. I purposely left out the name Philip of Macedonia. All you have to do is substitute the name of Hitler, and you've got exactly the situation that exists today.
Kind of a grim thought for us, isn't it?
I'm afraid it is. But our liberty and freedom are worth fighting for, and we'll preserve them, all right. Florence.
Yes, dear.
What was that little poem you showed me the other day, written by that 12-year-old girl in Kentucky?
Oh, it was called Freedom, written by Hazel Parker. A perfectly beautiful concept of what freedom means to a 12-year-old child.
Might be a swell way to finish the program. Do you mind, Walter?
Go ahead, I'd like to hear it.
Freedom is a man lifting a gate latch at dusk and sitting for a while on the porch smoking his pipe before he goes to bed. It is the violence of an argument outside an election poll. It is the righteous anger of the pulpit. It's the warm laughter of a girl on a park bench. It's the rush of a train over the continent and the unafraid faces of people looking out of the windows. It's all the howdies in the world and all the hellos. It's Westbrook Pegler telling Roosevelt how to raise his children, and it's Roosevelt letting him raise themselves. It is Lindbergh's appeasing voice raised above 1,000 hisses. It's Dorothy Thompson asking for war. It's General Hugh Johnson asking her to be quiet. It's you, trying to remember the words of the Star-Spangled Banner. It is the sea breaking on wide sands somewhere, and the shoulders of a mountain supporting the sky. It's the air you fill your lungs with, and the dirt that is your garden. It's a man cussing all the cops. It's the absence of apprehension at the sound of approaching footsteps outside your closed door. It's your hot resentment of intrigue, the tilt of your chin and the tightening of your lips sometimes. It's all the things you feel and can't help feeling. Freedom, it's you.
Ladies and gentlemen, freedom today is our most precious possession. But we must have money to keep it, to win this war. And the best way for us to help raise that money is to budget a part of our salary every week and save it with the United States Treasury. The money you save with the Treasury will help to save your country. So buy United States defense bonds and stamps. Buy them regularly every week. Wherever you work, there's provision made for you to join the Treasury's payroll savings plan. Join today. Invest your money in the future of America. It's your country. Keep it yours. The United States Treasury Department thanks the distinguished artists who gave their talents to this performance. Walter Houston, who acted as our master of ceremonies, Frederick March, Florence Eldridge, and Enya Gonzalez. Orchestra and chorus were under the direction of Al Goodman. Writing by Hal Block, John Latouche, and Malcolm Meacham. Production by William A. Bacher. This is Larry Elliott speaking.